Yeah. Hi, hello everyone. This is Shanmugaraj. Welcome to my channel. One of the aims of this channel is to build a global knowledge sharing platform in the domains of project management, agile, and leadership. You can join me and help me with that either by subscribing to this channel or sharing my videos to your friends. So, having said that, let us get into today's topic. Currently, we are discussing some of the leadership ideas from MIT Sloan School of Management. We are continuing our discussion around top 10 articles from MIT Sloan in the year of 2023, right? This is going to be the seventh article. Today's topic is data literacy for leaders. Data literacy for leaders. This article is published in MIT Sloan in the month of January this year by Sarah Brown. Why it matters? Leaders need to understand data enough to make their best decisions, drive literacy throughout the organization, and create a culture of trust in data. Data scientists might be in demand, but data literacy starts with the leaders. Leaders need to trust and understand data well enough to make good decisions, and they must also drive literacy efforts throughout the organization and create a culture of trust in data. Data literacy is the ability to work with and understand the data to drive business impact. It is as essential a skill as negotiation, communication, management, people management, all of that. Executives need to lead with the numbers to gain competitive advantage. Historically, business school programs have offered courses on data modeling, querying, and architecture, but rarely look at broader data strategy, said by Barbara Wickstrom, a principal research scientist at MIT Center for Information Systems Research. Leaders have to understand and appreciate that void because it puts even more pressure on them to be literate and drive literacy in their organizations. Here's what leaders need to know about data literacy, from how to establish trust to being appropriately skeptical and steps to getting there. The first step, leaders getting closer to data literacy, is trusting data and promoting its use. Modern leadership skills include trusting in data to guide decisions and knowing when to question results. Trusting in data can be difficult for leaders because they are good at decision making but often rely on their intuition. Asking someone to give away some power and accept guidance from analytics is hard, but pairing judgment and intuition with insights from data makes leaders stronger. Leaders are not necessarily involved in creating and analyzing data, but they often make decisions based on analytics. The goal for a leader from a data literacy perspective should be, how can I be fast but effective consumer of analysis that is produced by my organization, said by MIT Sloan professor of the practice Ramakrishnan. He is formerly a senior vice president at Salesforce. Leaders also are responsible for establishing data literacy in their organizations. Important steps include defining what data literacy means for your company and for different roles, establishing a baseline of data literacy skills, building a culture of curiosity around using data, and defining success. It is also important to establish purposeful data vocabulary beyond buzzwords. Data literacy requires top leaders committing to not just rely learning the language, but then using the language in understandable and consumable ways so that everyone across the organization will get on board. Wixom said her research has found that it is particularly important to distinguish between the data and a data asset, which has been purposely prepared for future value creation. Second step, gaining data literacy for leaders is understanding your firm's data processes. Data literacy requires hand-on ongoing effort. It is not a matter of completing one training session. It is a fundamental shift in thinking. Changing how leaders make decisions take time, but it's faster and easier with systematic approach. If you think about data literacy as a training and a checkbox, you will waste your time and your money. You will waste the time of your organization. Creating new business value through data and defining what the data literacy means to leaders and the organization should be part of the process. It is a commitment to long term learning and changes. While reading case studies is a good way to learn about what's going on in the data initiatives, it's hard to understand data and data terms unless you work with it. What she is recommending to the leaders to get involved with the data projects. Data is such an active kind of concept. Talking about data quality can be vague, but trying to work with and remediate the bad data set helps users appreciate why it matters and what's needed to overcome challenges. Wixom suggested that leaders focus on answering three main questions. How does a data initiative lead to actual financial returns? Data monetization. How data leads to economic returns is a vital component of a data strategy. Being familiar with examples of initiatives and how they create value in different ways. I think that's really important for literacy for a leader. If you're trying to establish a strategy that involves some collection of initiatives, you need to really understand those initiatives and how they contribute to your firm's financial performance. The second main question is what are the actual practices behind creating data sets? Leaders need to understand the capabilities that support data strategies. Think things like master data management, metadata, or data catalogs at a foundational level. Stuff is very tangible. When you are talking about making investments in these types of practices, leaders need to really pay attention and hear what's involved. The third question is how are people learning about data and from the data? Leaders have to really appreciate how they are growing the organization in its data literacy. Consider establishing centers of excellence or embedding data experts in the company. How a leader can be a savvy consumers of company data. Leaders need to be able to evaluate data and be skeptical when appropriate. Leaders should keep following 4 points in mind. Point number one, before being shown data, think about what you expect to see. That way, the contrast between what you expected and what is actually showing up will just jump out at you. This will often quickly highlight most relevant parts of a report. This is a habit of worth cultivating and you will get better at with practice. The second point is remember that data is uncertain. There is almost always a degree of uncertainty in data. The combination of some data and acting desire for an answer does not ensure that a reasonable answer can be extracted from a given body of data. Leaders will need to live with this uncertainty and ask their team to get more data to provide more information and reduce uncertainty. The third point, use the common sense test. If you are making an important decision based on the data, put it to the test. If something is true, chances are different data paths lead the same truth. If you are about to make an important decision based on one analysis, try your best to get another team or another data set to be analyzed to see if it points in the same direction. The fourth and final point is don't confuse causation and correlation. Whenever you're looking at an analysis that suggests that same factor is driving some outcome, always try to figure out how much of it is correlational and how much of it is causal. They should really brainstorm with the management team on what else could explain this alleged cause and effect relationship. That we have come to the conclusion of this video. Hope you guys got a fair understanding on what are the different steps a leader can take to become data literate, testing the data, promoting its usage, understanding the data processes, being curious. We also talked about four important points how a leader can become, consumer savvy, right? The person need to be leader may not involve in data modeling or data analysis, but he should be a good consumer using his both analytical and intuitive skills, taking a right decision, right? So that's what it's all about. It is important that a leader in current context will data literate, right? So I hope these kind of videos helps you to improve your leadership skills as well as your way of working in your organization. I hope you like this kind of videos. Okay, so with that, I'm signing off. See you in next video.